I'm out here pruning raspberries. I thought I'd share just a little teaching of Jesus as it goes along with this and share what I'm learning. Right now, when I'm pruning, going through and finding all the dead parts on this raspberry plant, and these are all wild raspberries, so they look really awful. Right here, they're all overrun with thorns. There's just no way they'll survive as soon as spring comes. All this other stuff's gonna grow up and choke it out. So I'm coming in here and thinning out all the weeds and all the things that I don't want. You know, Jesus said, I am the vine, my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. It says every branch that bears fruit, he prunes so that it may bear forth more fruit. So right here, we're gonna go through. You've got, there's some little plants in here that were actually raspberry plants last year, but just for the sake of this teaching, hello dog. For the sake of this teaching, we'll say that these are branches that are not going to bear fruit. Right here, it's dead. There's no way they're bearing any fruit. So what does the pruner do? He goes down and cuts it off, throws it away. You know, Jesus said, every branch that does not abide in me is cast forth and withers. And men gather them up and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. So it's our job as a disciple of Christ to bear fruit for the Lord. Now, this is a little guy. He wasn't going to bear anything. He wasn't going to be tall or strong enough in order to bear fruit. I'm going to go ahead and cut him off. One thing I learned about, a very interesting thing about pruning, is say, look at this plant right here. We've got a nice strong plant going up through here. It's a nice strong plant, and then all of a sudden right here, it turns color and it's just dead. This branch right here is really just going to do nothing other than sit there and add weight to the plant. So Jesus, he prunes us that we may bear forth more fruit. He cuts us off at the joint where things we don't need. He cuts it off that we can change direction and head this way, a direction that's going to bear way more fruit. And that's one thing I didn't know about pruning. You have a branch that splits off. It's going two different directions. When you prune one direction, you're essentially telling the plant to grow this way. And as the one that's doing the pruning, you have power over the plant. You have power to show, to guide it where it's going to grow and prune off the dead parts. So in the same way with our life and our relationship with Jesus, he can find parts in our life that need to be cut off. They might not necessarily even be sinful, but they're just a direction that isn't going to bear fruit. Maybe just an aspiration to witness in a certain way, and God says, that's not going to bear fruit. I want you to go this way. This is the plan that I have for you. And so he cuts off a section that we don't need, cuts out part of our lives, and we grow a new direction, and we'll bear so much more fruit. Because, this plant has very limited knowledge of what's going on, but a pruner can see it all. He sees the whole system of raspberry plants. He can know that, the places that need to be thinned out because there's just way too many plants trying to grow in one place. So he'll prune it. He'll guide you to a different direction that you'll bear so much more fruit. And this is one thing that the altar of our salvation can do. He turns what you saw back there, and now look at this. We've got a set of raspberries that are pruned, that are set for this season, and it says that they will bring forth their fruit in their season. And this is what God has done to us. We used to just be full of thorns, and we used to be full of all sin, but Christ can clean us up. He can save us to the uttermost, clean us, purify us, and make us fit for the Master's use. And this is what our Lord has. It's what He's done for me. He's saved my soul. He's purified me, and now I'm ready to bear fruit for the Lord. I pray that all of us will be able to serve together and be the bride that He needs us to be in this time, in this last days. God bless everybody that's out there. I pray that you continue in the faith.
Jesus is the light of the world, and through Him we can see. His word reveals the straight and narrow way that leads to life eternally. So we must follow closely and walk in the light, lest we wander from the pathway of life, lest we fall upon the rocks and waysides, lest we get caught in the thorns and the cares of this life. Jesus is the good shepherd of the sheep. He calleth his sheep by name. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep, that they might live abundantly. So we must follow closely and listen to his voice, lest we wander from the good shepherd's fold, lest we fall into the hands of the thief, who cometh for to steal and to kill and to destroy our lives. Jesus is the true and living vine, and we are the branches. The branch cannot bear fruit without the vine. We can do nothing without him. So we must abide in the vine to bring forth much fruit, lest we get cut off from the source of life and wither away, lest a root of bitterness spring up inside, or an evil heart of unbelief, and therewith we be defiled. Jesus is the living bread of life, which came down from heaven. If any man shall eat of this living bread, he shall live forevermore. And the bread that he gave was his flesh, which he gave for the life of the world. And he who comes to him shall never thirst, and he that believeth on him shall never harm.